first of all, we have our wonderful guest, Francia Raisa.
Gracias. Thank you for rolling
coming.
the R's. No, thank you for inviting me.
What an honor.
No, what an honor.
Okay, two disclosures really quickly. We are in the middle of a historic dual strike in Hollywood.
Yes,
the
we are.
WGA and SAG are striking. We are members of one of those unions, and so we are not allowed to promote any project by name or do any sort of promotion for things that we've ever worked on or are on or will be on.
Or anything.
Or want to maybe be on one day.
Yeah.
But we can speak about things in a general way about our life, but we're going to be super respectful of the SAG strike rules.
Yep.
And if I look a little puffy, I had a small laser treatment on my under eyes because the internet's mean. Okay, let's move on.
Oh, we've all been there. The internet's so mean.
Disclosures
I've
are
been
done.
pregnant so many times on the internet. It's great.
No, you have no experience with the internet being mean, do you?
Yeah, of course I do. What?
Yes.
No, never. Even today. Jesus. It's okay.
So can I promote things? I know you guys can't because you're of Hollywood's inner circle, but am I allowed to name any of these projects by name? Question, gray area.
I don't think I let's not, just to be super respectful.
Yeah,
But,
I was out picketing today.
Okay.
So, we're very much like...
Okay, so we're promoting absolutely nothing. But Josh, I am curious, with Unsaid Movie releasing last week, you've become a bit of a meme online, which in the entire time that we've known each other, I have not known you to be a meme. And I'm just wondering, how's it going? Are you enjoying the meme of it all? Do you hate it?
I haven't seen these.
I've been highly memed. I'm very honored to be part of something that's very large and very part of the conversation right now, and that's all I'll say. But and then of course people saw it and they were like, what are you doing there? We know you as this one thing and now you're in this thing, and that's so different than we're used to.
It's so huge for you, and I love it for you, not to talk about it, but I did read your book.
Thank you.
The title is hilarious. Happy people are annoying. You are annoying. And just knowing that came about after your journey, after a show that you were on for a very long time. Mm-hmm. It was very healing for me because I went through the same thing after I wrapped my first show, where I was lost. I didn't know what to do, and I had to go back to acting class because I'm like, what are you talking about? And I remember when I was in class, I was doing a monologue, and kind of just like you, my teacher ripped me a new one. He was like, "You're bookable. Doesn't mean you're good." I was like, "Oh, I was just a serious regular. What are you talking about?" And I had to go through learning how to act again, because as you know, when you're on something for so long, you develop certain habits. There's a formula, and with other projects you have to break out of those habits, and it's really tough when you're reading a script to not fall back into what you've been doing for so long. And
how old were you when you started acting?
I was 16 years old. It was 2004. I had gotten a manager towards the end of the year, which wasn't the end of the year is the industry's down. Come November 1st, everyone's on holiday. So I started around October, and my first job was a music video with Lil Romeo. I was one of 1,000 girlfriends.
We worked for the same company. We saw each other around the water cooler.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep, I'm sure. Yeah, and it's crazy. I never met you back then, but I was always hanging out with that crowd.
Yeah, Little Romeo was cool as hell. I remember he had a two-way pager and he had it all going on.
Yeah,
he still does.
He still does.
Shout out Little Romeo.
And now he has 2 kids.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Me too. We're out here procreating.
I froze my eggs.
Ooh, wow. There's so much to talk about.
There really is a lot. See, I told you we have plenty.
So you started 16, and then you basically haven't stopped working since then.
Yeah, I've been really, really lucky. I mean, I've done the jobs where I just needed to work and just needed something on my resume because we need money. But I've been pretty consistent. So I started when I was 16. When I was 17, I had booked a movie about cheerleading that will not be named, but those that know me know which one it is.
Yes.
What a movie it was, just saying.
Yes, thank you. Still trending.
With a Mrs. Hayden Panettiere.
Yes, and a Miss Solange Knowles.
Yes. And did Solange's sis ever come by and be like, "Hey sis"?
All of Destiny's Child came to set.
Stop it.
All of Destiny's Child.
You're not telling me Kelly Rowland was on set. I don't believe it.
Kelly Rowland was on set.
Michelle?
Michelle was on set. She had a cap on and was obviously didn't want to be bothered. But Kelly was like super nice. I was standing next to Beyonce one day when we were shooting at a school, and we were shooting at an actual football game. And she was standing next to me, and she's so tiny, like, but she had these massive heels on, and I'm standing there, what do I do now? And I just looked, and I was like, hi. And she goes, hello. And I went, nice night, Beyonce. And it was so short, but like, I didn't know what to say. I just wanted to fangirl. And I heard a while back, there was a story where Beyonce, rest in peace, said hi to Naya Rivera. And she was like, didn't you do a movie with my sister? And she goes, no. Wow. I'm like, but that was me. She remembers. So Beyonce and I, we're here. We're here somehow.
Would you feel confident enough, let's just say you're at Cheesecake Factory and her and Jay-Z come in with their entourage because they love like an avocado egg roll. And would you feel confident enough to be like, Beyonce,
what's up?
Remember Nice Night? Like, would you feel comfortable if you saw her to go up to her?
I think it would depend on the circumstances. If Solange was there, absolutely.
Sure.
If they were just at a restaurant, probably not. If we were at an event and I had something to do with the event, then I'd be like, hey, remember I worked? I don't know, but she's the nicest, and Kelly is the nicest.
Ben, who would you feel, would you go up to anyone, or is there some people you would be too intimidated?
I would go up to just about anybody if I had a legitimate reason to go up to them, right? Like if I had met them in the past. But if it's a random person, I don't like if I saw Leonardo DiCaprio in Cheesecake Factory, because everybody's just dining at Cheesecake Factory these days, I would not approach him. No shot. Like what am I going to do? Hey, Leo. Like what do you say from there?
So
like what's the point? Like what is the goal?
Like before we met, like I wouldn't have known how to approach you. Like, hey, I'm an actress too. Like, what do I do? Hey, I have trauma from my childhood days too. Like
that's a good entry point,
right?
Yeah, I'd be like, do you want to cry? I'll cry right now.
Yeah. So like, what do you do? Like, I see actors all the time. I'm like, hey, I know you from Instagram, not in real life. Like, what do you do? What would you do?
I have no problem if like there's someone I want to talk to and I don't want to bother anyone ever, because I grew up with a Jewish mother who was just like, go talk to her, like tell her that you're my son and that your bar mitzvah theme was Broadway. Like my mom has no scruples about that. But for me, I always want to leave people alone. But if I am interested in them, I'll go right up and say, I'm a massive fan. I just wanted to introduce myself. Hey, so nice to meet you, and I don't want to bother you. And I'm big on old-fashioned calling them Mr. or Mrs. or Ms. and their last name. Like not being,
got it.
Because I just feel like if you show them that level of respect, because most people are probably in their space and they assume that they can just have their attention.
So, Josh, 2 weeks ago, do you know Michelle Wie, the professional golfer?
No.
Okay, fantastic golfer. She just won huge LPGA Tour event. My mom 2 weeks ago had a little bit of surgery, minor, totally fine. Turns to me and says, Ben, when I was under the knife, I heard the doctor say that he is Michelle Wie's brother. Michelle Wie just won the tournament. You should really reach out. I know you guys are friends, and you should tell her that her brother operated on me. And I said, Mom, I don't think that's true. I don't think that Michelle Wie's brother is operating on you. I really don't want to ask her. She's like, no, I promise, Michelle Wie's brother, she'll know me. Reach out to Michelle Wie and tell her that her brother operated on me. And of course, I reached out and she said that she doesn't have a brother. So I'm here to tell you that they're always wrong. Whenever they say, reach out, the celebrities, they'll love me. They're always wrong.
Yes. I mean, the thing that I cannot talk about that is a recent, very on topic thing that I worked on. I mean, there are massive movie stars in this thing, right?
Yeah.
And, before the strike, when there was possible screenings and premieres and all that, my mom, like straight up, without any irony, was like, and then you'll sit with Robert Downey Jr. And I'm like, Ma, are you crazy? She's like, what's not to like about you?
She's right. What's not to like about you?
God bless, but
she's not wrong.
Could you imagine RDJ sitting there being himself, and I go, Barbara Peck asked me to sit with you, and she assures me that I'm awesome. So buckle up. It's going to be
I think
great.
Robert would say Barbara is a smart woman.
Who knows? RDJ. It would be too intimidating. I just couldn't do it. I'm in the wrong business.
I think we all feel that way at some point in life. Like, we just love this art so much, and we've been fortunate enough to, make a living out of it. But wow, it's like we constantly have to interview for a job. Always. It's never just cruising.
Yeah, it's the hard thing to reconcile about our job, and it's, quality problems, and no one ever wants to hear like actors talking about the struggle, but it's true. My favorite thing about or not my favorite thing, but the thing that I thought was insane was when we went on strike, my brother of all people who's smart is like, well, you guys are going to have a hard time getting people to sympathize for you because everyone just assumes you're all rich.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
that's a common misconception.
but it's hilarious because here's the reaction I'll get from people. It's that, like, you're, enjoy life, you 1%er, or it's, oh, you're an actor. Like, where
do you serve?
Yeah, what restaurant do
What
you serve
restaurant
at?
do you work at? Yeah.
And so they either assume you're rich or destitute.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so what are we talking about here? And obviously 160,000 people in a union certainly aren't rich. If anything, like that's, 99% of them are basically just like barely getting by.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and listen, like we've been talking about with this strike, streamer, as amazing as it is that there is so much more work, but there's just a lot less money for some reason. I did a couple streamer shows and early on, like where I guest starred, and I was like, I'm sorry, how much are you giving me for how much work? And I have to give 30% of that away to my representatives, and I still have to pay taxes. I'm left with nothing. What are you talking about? And then you're like, okay, I have this paycheck coming, but where's my next paycheck coming? I'm not getting any auditions. Like, it's wild, but we have to dedicate our lives to this career. And it's, hard, especially when you're starting out. Like, there are people that are serving and trying to figure out how to make their auditions. And just so you guys know, I don't know if you guys know this, but like, we will get a 24-hour notice sometimes, or sometimes day of, where it's like, hey, you have an audition tomorrow, 10 a.m. It's like 4 p.m. the day before, and it's 6 pages. And, now we have to self-tape. But prior, it's like, okay, if I had plans tomorrow at 10 a.m., they are all gone. If I have to work at a restaurant job tomorrow, I have to figure out how to get my shift covered. Because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, or so you feel like. And so you drop everything. You're trying to learn your lines. You're trying to find someone to help you. And me, I never went to an audition before without getting coached. I just wouldn't. So and my coach is expensive. So back then, obviously with inflation he raised his prices, but it was like $150 an hour. I worked with Will Smith's coach, Aaron Spicer. So I was like, I am investing in myself. So I saw it all as an investment, and I've been very fortunate, but like, it is expensive to be in this business. And then once you feel like you kind of made it, kind of like where in our position, I'm a female. Publicists, how much they cost? Stylists, hair, makeup, making it look like you live a rich life. It is all so exhausting, but especially with social media, you're trying to stay relevant. You need to be up on fashion. You need to be up on makeup. You need to come out with a new hairstyle that makes you stand out so you can be relevant. And then maybe, hopefully, someone will cast you because people want to watch you.
So go, Josh.
Go, Ben. Please. No, because it's more important because you're not in the business, and I think your opinion and your thoughts on this are of the highest value. Life doesn't happen bi-weekly, so why should payday? The money you earn can be in your hands today with Earnin. I mean, you earned it, didn't you? Look, Earnin is an app that gives you access to your pay as you work, up to $100 per day, or up to $750 per pay period. You just download the Earnin app and verify your paycheck, then access up to $100 a day as you work, and leave an optional tip. Any money you access plus tips are automatically repaid from your next paycheck. Look, the truth is that we all want to believe that we wouldn't be in a position where we would need $100 out of nowhere. But the truth is there are moments when money isn't moving as fast as your dreams are, and Earnin provides that financial momentum that you need to keep moving forward. And I would want to know that there was an easy app if I was in that position that would allow me to get a quick little bit of money and to know that my next paycheck was going to cover it all when the next cycle came. Make Earnin a part of your financial routine and join Earnin's over 3.5 million customers who say things like, when I think about Earnin, I think about financial stability, security. It gives me a lot of peace of mind. Look, download Earnin today, spelled EARNIN, in the Google Play or Apple App Store. When you download the Earnin app, type in Good Guys under podcast. When you sign up, it'll really help the show. Good Guys under podcast. Subject to your available earnings, daily max, and pay period max. See earnin.com/TOS for details. Earnin is a financial technology company, not a bank. Bank products are issued by Evolve Bank and Trust, member FDIC. From Ben and I, we just want to say thank you guys so much for loving and supporting the podcast. It means the world to us. And we wanted to say that, when you guys support our advertisers and use our code Good Guys, and it just allows us to keep giving you this podcast for free every Monday, giving you a laugh at the start of the week. What are you nuts? And our advertisers mean a lot to us because they're only products that we support, that we use ourselves. And one of them is Via Hemp Co., which I'm a big fan of. I'm the gummy king, but I like Via because they make different CBD and THC products that ship to all 50 states. You don't have to worry about the legality. The packaging is discreet. And here's the cool part, right? Like, their THC is extracted from organic hemp, but not marijuana. So they're able to sell the same cannabis experience you know and love with no medical card required. Now, Via Hemp Co.'s gummy line, they're extensive. Their products range from 2 milligrams to 50 milligrams of THC. So they've got you covered if you're looking to microdose or enjoy more of like a potent, all right, I feel it. If you're looking for that, they got that too. But like for me, as someone who likes sort of like the CBD effect of the relaxation for muscle aches and pains, something to maybe help sleep every now and then, without sort of that hit of THC. That's what I love. And it's just great to know that Via literally has you covered for everything you need. They even have, as I said, 0 THC products with their CBD line for little sober kings like me. So if you're 21 plus and want to try their products, go to viahemp.com and use code GOODGUYS for 15% off. Plus, they will add a free pack of their award-winning THC gummies to your order. Go to the link in the description or type in viahemp.com and use code GOODGUYS for 15% off plus free gummies.
I was just going to segue. That reminded me, your name was in the press a lot last week. And I just wonder, I know that there's no beef between you and Selena. We've made that perfectly clear. But how does that press, the TMZ of it all, does it get to you? Is it helpful to have your name in the press? Like you mentioned that like there's this whole PRable angle of being an actor, right? So I would assume that your name being in the press is helpful. But how do you deal with all of that?
Whenever I thought about my name being in the press, I never thought about it like this. I always thought about it from an actor's perspective, like, oh, she's at, this, God, can we say South by Southwest? No?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
She's at South by Southwest. She just got into Sundance. Like, that's what I pictured. Never in my life did I picture this. Now, I know that I went, she and I both went public with our situation years ago. And honestly, we had to, the press got a hold of the story and we wanted to tell it. Now, as of what's going on lately, does anyone prep you for this kind of stuff? No, right?
Never.
Like, we never
No.
get prepped for this kind of stuff. And it always catches me by surprise. Now, I don't know if it's good or not. I can't read the comments because I don't do well with that. I really don't. And
Same here.
sometimes I disappear because people are mean. People are so mean and they hit you like right there. I think even someone said, oh, you're just looking for attention because your career's a flop. I'm like, is it a flop? I mean, I know I've been working hard a long time, but is it? So they get you. They get your insecurities. But you guys, there's no beef. There's salsa. Let's talk about that.
That's what we call a segue, ladies and gentlemen, and we're here for it. The girl knows what she's doing.
So, salsa. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. I want to hear more about it.
Yeah, tell us about your new business venture.
So I'm hoping to be in the press for this. Honestly, just to answer your question, I honestly don't know. It's not what I was looking for, but whatever.
I think rising tide raises all ships. I think it'll all, again, just from from my perspective. Your name being out there can't hurt. More people know that, like, know you, and then we'll look into your legitimate career and all the great things that you're doing. And just a point on the haters again, Josh, I'd be curious to your thoughts too, because of course nobody likes reading negative comments about themselves, but you did donate a vital organ. And so on that side of things, you should be celebrated for the great heroic thing that you did, right? So I don't necessarily understand how you could be painted negatively in this story. So I hope and I think that it will only boost everything that you're doing.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, you know, that journey, I get those comments a lot, and I never really know how to respond to that. Like, saying thank you doesn't feel right. Like, it's more than just thank you. And, you know, I've said this before, like, that was a time I just felt it in my heart. And I knew I was a match. I knew it was going to happen. You know, no one forced me to do anything. It came out of the genuine kindness of my heart, and I've been super blessed ever since. Like, you know, 2 weeks after that surgery was my first audition was.
Wow.
That was my first audition. And I remember that I tested on my 29th birthday, and I almost took it like a sign from God, like, oh, I'm going to be fine. Like, everything's great. Everything's great. And I did not think I was going to book that because I was 29 years old. I almost didn't book that show. I remember I tested on my birthday, and the next day, my manager at the time did not tell me that they were testing other girls because they just felt like I was too old, or one person felt like I was too old. It's always that one person.
Oh yeah, I know them well.
Yeah, and I had just finished doing a show where I was playing college like a couple months prior, and I'm like, you guys, I know I'm 29, but I look 12. That's why I can't get a job. I look 12. So I remember he didn't tell me. He's like, they're testing other girls. I was like, that doesn't mean it went away, right? He's like, they're testing other girls. I was like, shoot. So I'm there like, what the heck, whatever. But I just felt it. I was like, it's going to come back, you know? And it did. But it took about a week, but it came back. And I got the part. And it's the same thing with the current one that I am on. I tested for 3 months.
That's unreal. You've told me that story.
3 months. And I didn't get it at first. I didn't get it. And I remember being like, this happened to me before. I'm going to wait. Talk about faith the size of a mustard seed. Oh my gosh, those were the craziest 2 weeks of my life. You know that feeling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so I was told if Francia was going to get this, it would have happened. Tell her to take the other project. I had gotten offered another project to be number one. And it was a filming in Canada. And I was like, okay. And right before that, I was going to go to Antigua for my birthday. It was my 33rd birthday. Everything happens on my birthday. So I'm like, okay. So I was like, there's no way that I have another birthday and this is not going to go my way. So I was just like faithful, whatever. And they said to tell me to take the movie. And I was like, okay. So I packed 2 bags and I was at the resort. I'm swimming in the pool and I just couldn't. My friend said something I can't mention right now that kind of brought it back. I was like, why are you mentioning this? Why are you mentioning it? She was mentioning the original IP to the current show. And I was like, that's not a coincidence. There's no way you just mentioned that because that show hasn't been on in so long. And so I...
in her defense, she's a big Jason Segel fan.
Stop it, I hate
She's
you.
a big Neil Patrick Harris person.
Oh, I thought you were making fun of me because yeah, because I'm a huge Jason fan.
Do you have a thing for Jason Segel?
You didn't know that? It's like a joke.
Are you kidding me? Are you like so attracted to Ben? He's got a lot of Jason Segel vibes, I will say.
I do. That's literally
disrespect.
the greatest compliment ever. I love Jason Segel. We're both rather soft.
I get young Leno and or Travolta, so I'm in a nice boat too. I don't mean to brag.
Wow.
You are in a nice boat. You've done well for yourself.
By the way,
Thanks, Joshy New Eyes, killing it.
I don't mean to brag. People compare me to John Travolta.
People compare to you? No, yeah. People compare me to... Listen, young Travolta, you know, Saturday Night Fever. You know, if you're anything like me, you love bread. It's just my favorite thing in the world, I think. Even more so than dessert. I just love bread. And yet there's always like some weird guilt or pressure that comes with eating bread. And it shouldn't, because bread's delicious. And with Hero Bread, that's completely gone, right? Because it takes bread, the delicious thing that we all love. It gives you everything you want from that bread, but it also gives you high fiber, ultra low net carbs, and 0 grams of sugar per slice. And it's delicious. It's tasty. It's soft. But you know what? The most beautiful part is it tastes like bread. The texture, the taste, you literally can't tell the difference. And in the back of your head, you're going, I'm getting fiber. I'm not eating extra sugar. I'm doing the right thing. It's so good. They have breads, buns, tortillas, everything you could ever want at hero.co and Amazon. And it's got fewer calories than the leading national brand. My son loves it. I love it. We use it all the time. And you can use our discount code for your first purchase, which is Good Guys, for 10% off at hero.co. Visit hero.co and use code GOODGUYS at checkout for 10% off your first purchase. That's HERO.co. Use code GOODGUYS for 10% off your first order. Wait, so I just have a couple because I'm a total hypochondriac and I love medicine. Can I ask a few kidney questions?
Go for it.
Because totally agree. Just to echo everything Ben said.
Let me open this real quick.
And then I want to hear it. And then we're getting knee deep in salsa.
Yeah.
So my first question is, I've heard something fascinating about donating a kidney, which is that it's the only surgery that doctors do that in theory hurts a patient. Right? Because doctors take the Hippocratic Oath, do no harm. But in this scenario, right, they're putting a person under and taking an organ from them because it's going to help someone else. So like on the days leading up, you find out you're a match. And on the days leading up, is there like a quiet calm coming over you? Are you considering all those things? What's going through your head?
That was the craziest part. I was so calm.
Interesting.
I had this crazy calmness. It was wild. I was doing all the the tests were a lot. It was hard. But the entire time I was like, I just feel like I have to do this. I just know it. The minute I found out we were a match, I was like, yeah, this is happening. Wow. I know. So I remember the day of, obviously we had to be there at like 5 a.m. and I was just like very zen, super zen. And right before, because yes, what Josh is talking about is basically, I lost something that my body didn't need to lose. So your body ultimately, goes into shock. And I'm still working on that. Like I didn't do the proper things I probably should have done afterwards. So I'm still feel a little bit of it.
What are those things?
Well, recently someone told me, she asked me a nurse, if I have a lot of back pain. And I was like, oh my God, yes, all the time. I'm thinking it's my sciatica. She was like, the body doesn't like empty space, so it's probably filling up with a lot of water. You need to do more lymphatic drainages to help with your pain. I was like, oh, have not done that. Also, I have scar tissue down here.
And she's like, and by the way, I'm a lymphatic drainage masseuse upside.
Well, no, she is. She was in Saint-Tropez. She was in Saint-Tropez, but she had come.
Okay,
she had come to the house to do it for some other people. I got an IV, so we just got to talking, but she's a nurse.
Sure.
So, and I was like, well, that kind of makes sense. And then I remember I did acupuncture for a little bit, and I remember he put the needle on my right heel, and I jumped up, and I was like, get it out. And it was the worst pain I'd ever felt. And I was like, what is that connected to? He goes, your left kidney. I was like, it's not there.
Wow.
I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Wow.
So, yeah. So anyways, you were saying like leading up to it, I just felt like such a calmness. I was fine. And even like their job is to try to convince you to not do it, because if you're not mentally healthy, then you're not a match. And so even right before, they're like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I'm on Valium. I don't even remember falling asleep. And I was like, good to go.
Ready to go.
Ready to go.
And then waking up, what's the moment like when you wake up?
I was so drugged up. I swelled up really bad. Yeah, I don't remember. I think my sister said I was speaking Spanish, claiming I was speaking English.
Wow.
And I don't really remember. I was so drugged up.
At least it's a language that you do know.
Yes.
Right? Like if you were speaking, Portuguese,
I would be really impressed.
Troublesome.
Yeah.
What language do you think Ben would be speaking when he donates his kidney to me? And do you think Ben would give me a kidney?
I think that there's a 100% chance that if you needed a kidney and we were a match, that I would highly consider it. And
Marshall, you heard that? So no.
Call me. I'll talk to you about it. You know what? That's the cool thing about this whole experience is I actually do talk to a lot of people before they go into surgery, just through friends or people that know me. Actually, Pam Fryman's daughter reached out to me recently.
The director of a thing we work on together.
Yeah.
That will not be named.
But she reached out to me and she's like, "Hey, you can totally say no, but I have a friend. She's giving her kidney. She's freaking out. Do you mind talking to her?"
Wow.
She doesn't know me. So I called her and we had a good chat and like we're text friends now. And then my friend Kathy Kelly also asked me the same thing. You know, spoke to her friend. They all text me happy birthday, which was so nice. And then I went to the movies with Lily Singh a couple months back, and I remember a guy came up to me and he was like, "Hey, I'm so-and-so." I was like, "Oh, hi, nice to meet you." And he goes, "You know, I reached out to your sister about my friend who was giving a kidney, and you spoke to her. It was years ago." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, how's she doing?" He goes, "Really, really well. Thank you for that. Like, it really helped and whatever." And I was like, "Oh, this is all that matters. Like the fact that I can talk to other people. It's like a little support group that I'm slowly forming without trying to form. It's cool. You know, I now have knowledge about this, and I'm, you know, a walking success story, and I feel better than I did before. I actually take care of myself better now than I did before, and I'm in the best shape I've ever been in."
And so once you sort of like, I've also heard this from a friend who has been the recipient of 2 kidneys, and she said, and her sister gave her hers. And
okay, do I know her?
No.
Okay.
Well, Tina, she cuts my hair. Anyway.
We have a mutual friend that also has 2, and her brother gave her the second one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And she basically said that if the donor, God forbid, anything happens with their kidney, they immediately go to the top of the list. Like they are given total priority because of the incredibly generous act that they did, right?
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah.
That's accurate. And then also, too, even if you're not a match for, let's say, a family member, there's a program where if you give one away, you get one. So one of the friends I was talking to, she was trying to donate to her, I think her boss's wife or something. Crazy, right? And she actually wasn't a match, but she still wanted to do it. She just felt it in her heart. So she actually just had surgery like 2 weeks ago, and she gave it to someone totally anonymous. She has no idea, but then now the wife got a kidney.
Wow.
It's incredible. And it's so easy to live with one. Like I'm so happy. There's no beef. There's salsa. Let's eat it.
No beef. There's salsa. And Ben, I don't want to make you feel bad, but there's no highly considering. You need it. You're getting it.
You're giving it to me.
Yeah, babe.
Oh.
What about your?
Okay, fine. I'm giving it to you. I'm giving it to you. I just didn't know if you were gonna. I just didn't know if you were gonna give it to me. So now that I know that you're giving it to me, I'm 100% giving it to you. Now,
you're both liars.
No, we're telling the truth.
I would do it just because of the Vicodin I'd get after the surgery.
Yo, that was the best part.
No shit,
oh
girl.
My God. I didn't know.
Who you telling?
I did not know. First of all, apparently the entire time, morphine was my best friend. Apparently the entire time, I guess my doctor told me, because I've been working out for a while, I guess my doctor told me that she had a really hard time cutting through my abs, and anyone that came to visit me, I was like, she couldn't cut through my abs, so this is wrong.
My doctor said that too, but that's because I was having a tummy tuck because I was morbidly obese. Anyway, guys, that's so funny. Yeah, dude, I would totally give it to you. And I know that's what you think, right? If you have kids, like God forbid, but like I can't be keeping these 2 beautiful kidneys of mine safe knowing that my young friend Benjamin needs it and I'm a match.
Yeah.
I can't hold it for the what ifs.
We're blood brothers. What language do you think I would speak coming out of a drug
Yiddish.
state?
Gibberish.
Okay, Yiddish is good. Yiddish is good.
I think that if you started speaking like Chinese or something, you'd get canceled.
That's it. But I'm positive that I would speak Chinese. I know it for a fact. And I'd get canceled. Yeah. And I'd deserve it. And I'd deserve it. But like, imagine if I just came out speaking fluent Chinese. There are stories where people speak languages that they've never spoken before.
Right.
Yeah, thank God I knew it.
Crazy.
Did you?
So I want to talk about salsa. I can't see the salsa. So is this your salsa company?
Yeah, so thank you for asking. Do we have any chips? Yeah.
We do.
Oh, good. Trying it on.
This is a proper TV show. I feel like we're on like a morning, like we're on live with Ben and Josh.
By the way, it's not there, but you know it would go down really well with... Francia, do you drink or you don't drink?
Yes. Of course I drink.
You drink. Okay.
Yes.
Marshall, on the way out, Francia, we own a sparkling cocktail company called Spirit Society that I think would wash down that salsa and chips.
Why don't you bring it? Give me right now.
Unbelievably. I don't know if we have any cold ones, but Marshall.
Can I drink it now?
Yeah, of course. It'll be a little bit warm.
Okay. Okay, and then you buy my salsa, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Or I'll send you some. I'll send you some.
Where do you
Please,
get?
no,
where
I'm
can we
gonna
get
buy it.
this
Tell us
salsa?
exactly.
Okay, so I can't announce that just yet, just because I haven't announced it, but I can say where this is coming from and why I'm working on this
Please.
right now.
Yeah.
So basically, I started making salsa when I was 18. A lot of people don't know this about me or don't realize my last name is not Raisa. It's actually my middle name. I am a Nepo baby. But I didn't, not that I didn't want to take my dad's last name. I just really wanted to do this myself. I wanted all the tears and all the struggles and all the sleeping in my cars. And if you're a Nepo baby, take advantage of it. Just work hard. Okay?
Wait, are you a salsa Nepo baby or a showbiz Nepo baby?
Showbiz. My dad did radio growing up.
Okay, but your last name's not like Consuelos or something,
No,
right?
it's Almendares.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Actually, my last name is on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Wow.
Fancy.
Yeah. So, anyways, I didn't have chores growing up. My chores were to get good grades, and karate, dance classes, ice skating classes, all the classes that you can think of, just to set me up for what I'm doing now. And so I never had to make my bed. I never had to cook. I never had to do anything. And I remember going to school. Now, I'm first generation. My mom, my dad, they did not tell me that when I went to school, there was going to be another language spoken, or that the music was different, or that food was different, and that not everyone eats beans. And I didn't know about that song, Beans, Beans That Make You Fart. I found out because the more you eat, yeah, exactly. So I found out because I brought a bean burrito to school, and then I learned that song, and I was like, I don't fart. And so
Kids were mean to you about your bean burrito?
yeah.
I wouldn't have been mean. I would have shared it with you. And
Kids were
probably,
mean to me 'cause I brought-
farted. And probably farted.
I brought Diet Jello, but that was for a different reason.
Diet Jello. That's a
So
classic.
sad. 5 calories a cup.
What about sugar-free Cool Whip? That'll really put you over the
Sugar-free
edge with the
Cool Whip.
gas.
Snack Wells? It was awful.
Yeah, well then when I went to school, I discovered hot lunch. And I was like, I need hot lunch. I need this thing they call pizza.
Yeah.
I discovered what spaghetti was in 4th grade because a friend offered me some. So,
Wow.
like, literally did not know. It was a whole new world for me. And I even remember in school, like, I listened to Spanish music growing up, like corridos, banda, and all that stuff. And I remember everyone talking about Kiss FM. And I was like, what's Kiss FM? What's Kiss FM? Okay, so I went and I listened to Kiss FM. When I was finally in, I was like, I know all the songs. They were like, we listen to Power 106, not Kiss FM. I'm like, God, okay, fine. So I'm going home. And I remember just like really trying to like not be Mexican, but still be Mexican, but not like I was still watching novelas, but I was just like confused. So fast forward, I started making it just for myself. I would not share it with anyone. But then some of my friends coming over would see it and they would eat it and they're like, oh, it's good, but never made a big deal about it. And then I went to Hillary Duff's house. Was this last year or the year before? Probably the year before.
Wow, Hillary's your salsa whisperer? Wow, this
Of
is
all
huge.
people,
Wow.
Lizzie McGuire.
Get ready to clip this, Marsh. Go for it.
So then she invites me to her house to go swimming. And I was late. And I showed up with salsa. And we're in the pool. We're talking.
Always got to bring a gift. Always got to bring a gift.
Always got to bring a gift. We're in the pool. We're talking. And she takes a bite. She's like, oh, my God, where did you buy this? I was like, oh, I just made it. And she goes, you made this? And I was like, yeah, that's why I was late. I'm sorry. She goes, you made this? I said, yeah. She goes, when? I said, like right before I came. How? I was like, what are you talking about? Luca is eating it. It's like
Her son?
Yeah, is like it's all over his face. And he was like, this is the best salsa ever. And I was like, what?
Wow.
Banks is eating it. And she was like, you have to jar this. And I was like,
Wow.
really? And she would not let it go. Like, I'm not allowed at her house unless I have salsa in my hand. She'll like stand in the door and be like, you got something for me? Like, that
Wow.
is my entrance in. And so on set, she kept talking about it. Every time we're on set, she's like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
Okay, this is really exciting.
So-
Ben, I wish you were here.
Send
gonna
me,
try this.
send me the link. I want to buy it. Is it available online? Is it available in
It
stores?
will be available online. I haven't announced it yet, but I've been working on this for about 2 years now.
Amazing.
Wait, what do we think? Come try it.
Josh,
You
is
know-
it sick?
Do you like spicy?
I think Hillary was being nice. No, I'm kidding. It is so good. It's incredible.
Come try it.
It's amazing.
Wow.
You
Wow.
can come try it too.
I will.
Enjoy.
You want me to bring you one?
Yeah.
Wow. Here, no, bring him the. There you go. Enjoy it, please.
Wow.
We're on a show together that we've been on for 2 seasons. I have the honor of reoccurring on the show, and in our last episode, I don't think it's a spoiler. We shared an on-screen kiss.
Yep.
Some might call it an on-screen makeout. And what's that like for you? Is that weird? Is it scary?
I want to know what it's like for you because I read your book. Now I'm a fangirl.
Thank you.
I read your book, and so obviously, you kept talking about how, overnight you were like, I'm like this leading guy now, and I'm being chosen to be the boyfriend. Like, how is it like for you? Because it was different when you were younger, right?
Yeah, I mean, anytime now,
You're like hot.
Hey, thanks. Laser under eye surgery. Give me another 2 to 4 weeks, and we're gonna really see some progress. But thank you so much. I'm married and I have kids now, so that's like even weirder because in my 20s, getting to do it was just like, obviously if the person you're doing it with is having a nice time too, and it's part of the story, it's like kind of fun and exciting and weird and specific. Because what other job?
It's so specific.
Do you get to kiss a random person like
Yeah.
that? And nothing's changed. It's still awesome. No, but now it's just like, again, I just always, and I think I hope you felt this way. Like, I just want you to feel comfortable. The person I'm with to, because if there's any sort of discomfort from anyone, then A, it shouldn't be happening. And B, it's like, you can feel that through the screen immediately.
Right. I got to tell you that, Josh, you were so amazing through that. Like, I've been doing this business almost 20 years. And every role I've had, I'm making out with someone. So to me, I'm like, action, let's do it, and then cut, whatever. Where's crafty? Like, but you and I don't think I've gotten this from a lot of men. I remember you came up to me in the trailer afterwards. You're like, is it okay if I touch your waist? Is it okay if I do this? And I'm like, yeah, dude. And obviously I ended up jumping on you. I didn't even ask your permission. I was like, let's just go full out. But you were such a gentleman about it. And I want to thank you for that, because a lot of men don't have that kind of courtesy. And I remember I had a horrible commercial audition once. I'm just going to take it back.
Yeah.
And in 200 South La Brea, remember that place?
Sure.
Yep. And it was for a drink that doesn't exist anymore, I don't think. And I remember the director really wanted me and the guy that he had just partnered me with to make out. But he wanted it to like look like we were about to have sex, like we were ready to rip each other's clothes off. So I was wearing shorts, and this guy's putting his hand up my leg, and like the director's like, more. That was my last commercial audition ever. And I remember after we were done, I was 18, I think. The director was like, thank you, we love that. And the guy that I just made out with looked at me and goes, no, thank you. I was like,
it's so
What a
like
creep.
I just allowed you to touch me everywhere, and you didn't even book me on this job. I never did a commercial audition after that.
That guy sucks. Whoever that guy is, I hope
Terrible.
I hope you're not working,
Let's
because that
name
was
him
so
by name.
rude. I actually don't. But that's the thing. I don't know his name. I can't even tell you. I don't even remember what he looks like. Like I think I suffered trauma from that, so I don't like. I put the whole picture behind me, but it was just like I felt so dirty afterwards. I remember taking a shower. I was like, he just touched me. It was so weird, and he was making out with my neck, and the director was like, yeah, more. I was like, oh, but you were so sweet about it. So it was very, very comfortable, and like obviously you saw that I was shy. And then when we have photos where we're looking at each other, we're like, okay, it's about to happen.
Yeah, it's never I mean, I'm never comfortable doing it. But then once you get into it, you're just like, oh yeah. Like, and I've gotten to kiss some wonderfully attractive people in my work. You,
Yes.
Hillary Duff, John Stamos. And when I was kissing John,
That one? That one I'm jealous of. How was that?
but that was funny enough because as we're going in for the kiss, and I remember being like, I just, like, I love John, but I wasn't dying to kiss him. I don't know how he felt about me. And then, and as our lips met, as it's always happened for me, whenever I've had to kiss someone in a role, I thought, it's just kissing.
Yeah.
Like whether it's Stamos or whomever, I'm like, this is just sweet and nice. And
It's just kissing.
It's
It's
just
just
kissing.
kissing. Yeah, and I'm so glad we're normalizing it. When I was on my first show, I had to kiss a girl on screen. And it wasn't really talked about back then. And I remember she and I were freaking out. We were freaking out. We were like, oh my God, what are we going to too.
Because you were friends before and...
Well, because we're both straight. So we were like,
Gotcha.
what the heck? Why are we doing this? We were, how old were we? Early 20s. So like, it just wasn't talked about back then. And I was like freaking out about it. And then afterwards we're like, oh, that was it. It was just a kid. Oh, and we're still good friends. I'm like, I love you. Like, why not? And sometimes I even kiss my girlfriends on the lip just to say hi. Like, it's not a big deal. It's just a kiss.
Some of my mom's friends kiss me on the lips. Thoughts?
As long as they haven't had any tuna, it's fine.
What does your therapist think?
There's a couple. There's like 2 or 3 like cougar-esque 60-plus women in my life who every time I see them, they're like, hi, Josh. And I'm like, giddy up. I'm down to clown, and my wife sees it and doesn't mind, so.
Just tell me the next time it's happening, and I'm going to send TMZ the headline. Josh cheats on Paige with cougar, 60+.
Yes.
I have a question for you. How does your wife handle all of it? Because I know I've had relationships in the past where they don't do well with the fact that I have to kiss other men.
Really?
They do not do well.
My wife's not jealous at all.
Thank God.
It's annoying.
That's amazing. Those are the kind of women I love.
She's not jealous at all. She's not threatened. And I think she's like, I think she was more hyped when like Hillary was on the podcast and she mentioned something about and called her by her name, Paige. Like Paige was like, Hillary knows my name. Yeah. And like, she also kissed her husband. She's like, yeah.
But she knows my name.
She knows my name. And I'm like, yeah, she's the best.
Yeah,
like,
she's the best. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it can be, I mean, we've talked about it, Ben and his beautiful wife, Claudia, and how it would be an impossibility for you guys to be actors having to kiss people. Yes?
Yes, but that's also because we're not actors. Like maybe if we were actors, it would be different. But as non-actors, I can tell you if you kiss your coworker, you're going to HR and you're getting divorced. So it's just
Right.
it's just like a different, it's just different. I think it's a muscle that you guys have been able to sort of work out, if you will, and it's great that it's normal.
And speaking of kissing, are we allowed to say, because I pulled up some fun facts, how's the love life? What's going on? Because I know you love, you know, I always love asking you because you always have some good dating story or some good update.
Love life. I mean, listen, I'm going on dates.
Okay.
I'm on Raya.
Ooh, tell us everything about Raya because we missed it.
Well, I went on during the first season of said show, and Hillary was swiping for me a lot, and she had a lot of like there'd be a guy where I'd be like, oh, he's cute, and they're like, she goes, no, who would do that? No, and I was like, all right, cool.
So you sort of had like a wider selection, and Hillary was a little more pinpoint specific. Got it.
I was like, okay, whatever. And here's the thing, I'm on it, but then I'm afraid to match anyone because then I have to like, actually go on the date and like do the thing and like get to know each other, and it's a little exhausting, but I've had fun. I've had a couple good matches. I've gone on a couple dates.
John Mayer?
I've seen him on there.
Yeah, everyone has.
I've seen him on
My
there.
wife tells me I look like him, so for what that's
good for
worth.
you.
He does. A Jewishy John Mayer, which is crazy that a guy named John Mayer isn't Jewish. Have you ever met him?
No, I haven't. Oh! Yes, I have.
Okay, well, say more.
I have. God, I've never told this story. Again,
Well,
it was
it's
a long
perfect
time ago. I was
Follow like the podcast. We're on the Good Guys podcast. Subscribe now. Go for it.
I was at the Chateau Marmont with some friends, and it was when he was dating Katy Perry. And John was talking to me a lot, and I don't even remember what we were talking about. But I remember we were leaving, and John was like, just so you know, I see you. I know you don't feel seen. I know you don't feel seen, but I see you. And I was like,
Oh, no.
okay, thank you. Listen, to be fair, like thinking back, I'm like, I was talking to him. It was like there was no flirting at all, but also like that wasn't a reflection of me. We all know that, he's charming. But I was just like really taken aback by that. That was my interaction.
I was really taken aback by how giant his head was when I met him. Hear me out. It's big, and I've got a big head.
Really?
He's a big man.
Yeah, I mean,
Large hands, tall.
I'm 5'2". Everyone is big to me.
That's fair.
Yeah, so like, no opinion on that. Everyone's large.
Josh, should we get to our what are you nuts moment of the day?
Sure. I want to get rid of a certain phrase. The other day I was at a restaurant, or I think I might have been at like some kind of get together, and someone walked into the party, or I'm sorry, someone walked into it was like a dinner, or maybe even like, you know, a wine and cheese. It was just like a bit of like a socializing low-key thing. And I literally heard someone go, "Uh-oh, the party's here." Phrases like this have to go. What are you, nuts? The party's not here. That's just Diane. It's just Brenda. Like
it's Karen. Karen, stop.
The party's not here. It's just someone who's going to be like a little loud and probably have too many drinks and forget to make breakfast for their kids tomorrow morning.
The party's not here. What are you, nuts?
The party's here.
Okay.
Also, I think the phrase "woo" should be removed.
I say that all the time.
Woo!
Here's the thing. It's a joke with my friends. They know when I'm feeling a little tipsy because I go, "Woo!"
It's a tipsy sound.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's my thing. I agree. I'm not arguing. Yeah, you're right. Woo!
So
I see you.
So I'll go.
Salsa
So
go? Oh.
this week, my sister asked to borrow my car. And Good Guys listeners know I have a new car, park it in the garage. She calls, she says, "Can I go and pick up your car, use it to move some chairs to my new apartment?" I said, "Of course, no problem. I'll let them know." She sends her boyfriend goes, picks up the car, calls me maybe an hour later and says, "By the way, when did you get Florida plates? I didn't know that you had Florida plates." I said, "I don't have Florida plates, Max. I don't. I have New York plates. Are you in somebody else's car?" And he said, "I think I am." "I don't remember you having a 2-door Range Rover. I thought you had a 4-door Range Rover." And I said, "I do have a 4-door Range Rover, Max. And I live in New York and I don't have Florida plates. Whose fucking car are you in?"
I don't remember you having a Mitsubishi Galant and a bunch of cocaine in the trunk.
And it was so funny because when he was calling me, like, I know that he had to have known that this wasn't my car, but he took it anyways. Doesn't matter. The "what are you, nuts" is, who in the world is giving away somebody else's car to a complete stranger at a garage? What are you, nuts? And in New York, garages are literally a fortune. Like, this is one thing that nobody should be jealous of. The cheapest lot in the city is like $600. Like, they need to take care of your car. And I am sorry to report that this person has an Easy Pass that was used, and they will never know unless they listen to this podcast and find out. But what are you, nuts?
What was the Easy Pass used on, the Holland or the Lincoln or the G-Dub?
Oh, that's such a great question.
Or the Verrazano? Were they going into Staten Island?
They were going into Brooklyn, so it's possible that they used the Verrazano and then the BQE. I'm not sure the route that they took, but what are you, nuts, garage?
Wow, that valet is
bad.
Feeling bad.
Yeah, that's oof. Oh God, I don't know. There's so much.
It can be something so small gripe, small annoyance, whatever grinds your gears.
Dinner. Don't invite me out to dinner after 7 because what are you, nuts? Like, I can't eat at that hour.
I love that. Same here.
6:30.
Yes.
8 o'clock. Absolutely not. Like,
maybe 5:30, right?
5:30. Oh, even better.
I love it.
Even better. But like, I mean, but don't invite me to anything, especially during the week. Like, what are you, nuts? I'm not going to a comedy show at 9 o'clock because then you won't go on until 10. And then you probably won't even go on until 11 because other comedians are like, no, I need to be in bed by 8:30, 9 o'clock. I'm not saying I'm going to sleep, but I need to lay down at that hour.
Oh, I'm so with you. So with you. What's the name of your salsa company?
Salsa Raisa.
Salsa Raisa is coming in hot soon.
It is coming in muy hot.
Mucho caliente. So
I will be making announcements soon.
So make sure to, where can we follow you on social to hear that announcement?
You can follow me on Instagram, on TikTok. I have a Facebook that I hardly go on, and I am going to do a better job about it. Francia Raisa. And then I will be announcing soonish when that will be launching. Look out for it. It's really good. And honestly, like, I just love that it's a first-gen story, you know? I'm a first-generationer that learned how to cook because I missed my home.
Amazing. I can't wait to try it. As always, rate, review, subscribe. This podcast, this is 5 stars. If it's not 5 stars, I don't know what people think are 5 stars. We're the Good Guys. Thanks so much for listening.
If it's not 5 stars, what are you, nuts?
What are you, nuts? So good. We love you guys.